Talks. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
Well, hello, and once again, welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Well, hello. Delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime. At 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, a little bit of technical difficulties this morning. I hope you will bear with us. Just a little bit of a challenge there. The fun and games of live radio. So what are we celebrating today? Even though we have some technical difficulties, we do find time to celebrate. It is a couple of items on there, and you know something, maybe it just figures that today is National Just Because Day.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Well, I guess some of these things happen just because. That's the answer that we can use on that one. And then we also look, in having beaten anorexia, we'll look at the one for National Pots de Cream Day. You know, I had no clue what pots de cream was, but I looked it up on here. Well, you know, something that looks pretty good. It looks pretty tasty. It is a French dessert, pots de jour. Pots de cream, I guess, not pots de jour. Pots de cream is the one that they talked about on there. Checking out the markets. Markets are pretty active this morning as well. Good news on the trade front. If you haven't seen that, it looks like there might be some movement on a trade deal with Mexico. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is trading up 272 points as I speak to you right now. Up 272. Good news. That's enough of that one, guys. Okay, so where else are we going from the up 272? What do we look at beyond that? Then we obviously want to look and say, okay, what does that mean for oil? Down ever so slightly, down 3 cents per barrel. We're not a big deal on that one. I'm trying to find what happened to my numbers because I had them here for where we stand on. Oh, that's the wrong thing there, guys. We're looking for the AAA numbers. Where are the AAA numbers on gas prices? $283.8 nationwide. California, $3.60 a gallon. $3.60? Ow! Yeah, and if you want the best gas in America, South Carolina, $252.9, over $1 a gallon cheaper than what we're paying in California. What's going on in the bond market? We are resolving a little bit of the issues in the bond market. They're coming back to where we'd like to see them be. And we're right. We've been testing the highs on a regular basis here. So we've been doing some serious testing. So if we're floating right now. What does floating mean? It means we have not made a decision which way the market is going to go. So we float. We wait to see, let the market dictate. If you're thinking about buying, selling, refinancing, and if you're thinking about refinancing, if you've got an adjustable rate mortgage, if you've got a HELOC, if you've got mortgage insurance, all of those things now's the time to be looking at modifying those. The HELOCs right now, are you ready for this one? Now, we just listened to what the Federal Reserve had to say from Jackson Hole, and we listened to what they didn't necessarily say, but you can infer from their comments. What they've basically said is interest rates are going up. Ow! We can watch and see that the prime rate by the end of the year, 5.5%.
It is what it is.
Yeah, not exactly where we want to be, but they want to make sure. Now, here's the issue: they're not saying that we need to slow the economy. They're saying that if we go into a recession, what could they do? They have nothing left in the quiver, so they want to raise rates now to slow the economy, to get us into a recession, so that in case we go into a recession, they can lower rates. Why wouldn't you just leave the rates lower right now? But hey, you know something? If you're thinking about refinancing a loan, if you're thinking about that home equity line of credit, I would be looking at alternatives right now. Right now, you have the opportunity of locking in. Now, there are some people that we do promote the adjustable rate mortgages when they've got a 7-year fix on them. I like the adjustable rate mortgages when they're steady for the next 7 years. But if you're in a HELOC, you're looking at increased interest rates. You're looking at 5.5% plus whatever your margin is. So if you've got a 1.5% margin, by the end of the year, you're going to probably be looking at about 7%. 7% on that adjustable rate mortgage. Now, why would you want to do that when you can lock in right now 4.5%, 4.75%, 5%? That's just where the markets are right now. So you have the opportunity to get low interest rates. And you say, no, I think I'd rather stick with what I have on that HELOC and be on the higher end, and then wait in January, see it go up again. Just the way the markets move. That's just how it's been going. That's what we're looking for. That's kind of what the Federal Reserve told us from Jackson Hole, Wyoming last week. Heard from a lot of the Fed presidents. We also heard from the chairman of the Federal Reserve. All of them came up with basically the same thing. It sounds like they might have been talking to one another. That was their talking points there in Jackson Hole. The idea that the economy is doing well. The unemployment is basically, we are at full employment, is what the Federal Reserve looks at as full employment. And then we're also looking at the concept of the inflation is right around their target. So whenever the inflation gets around their target, that being 2%, they start saying, something, let's see if we can slow that down a little bit. And that's why they use the interest rates as that tool for slowing down. Stocks, how did the week end in stocks? They finished strong on Friday for a week last week. That makes 2 up weeks in a row, the S&P and the Russell 2000, and they both broke out to all-time highs. The Dow Jones is not at an all-time high right now, but it's still moving right along, and especially when we look at it being up 256 as I speak to you, 269 right now. NASDAQ up, S&P up. All these numbers, the 10-year Treasury, that one is up, all coming out of these strong economic data. And it's basically, now you look and say, okay, well, if we get the trade talks off the table, that could be another big win as well. Durable goods orders report was yet another example showing the strength in the economy. Headline numbers showed a negative 1.7% decrease due to the always volatile commercial aircraft component. Core capital goods, which analysts prefer to look at, increased by 1.4%, well above last month's 0.6% increase, and views for a 0.5%. Computers and electronics, as well as machinery, was singled out as strong contributors. It also cited a strong build in durable inventories and acknowledged the surge in orders and the increase in shipments, which will add to the GDP. We got a solid report. Great to hear from the, again, I say Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell praised the economy in a speech at that economic symposium, where he said, over the course of a long recovery, the U.S. economy has strengthened substantially with solid household and business confidence, healthy levels of job creation, rising incomes, and fiscal stimulus arriving. There is good reason to expect that this strong performance will continue. Unfortunately, there were no breakthroughs on trade talks with China, but the administration had already pre-sold that it was highly unlikely there would be at this one. So no big surprise there. We talked to you a little bit about Mexico already. So we've got a lot of good stuff in the economy. That's what's driving this market. And you are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, rent or buy, either way, you're paying a mortgage. Do you want to pay yours or somebody else's? T-Mobile, they had a data breach. What do you need to know about it? Solid. The only reasons to collect Social Security at age 62. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter, @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Did you know that banks and credit bureaus are rewarded financially if you have bad credit? And the worse your credit score is, the more money they can make off of you? How does that make you feel, knowing that banks are getting rich off of your hard-earned money? How does it make you feel, knowing that if a bank or a credit bureau makes a mistake on your credit report, they benefit from it and it hurts you? The Fair Credit Report Act of 1971 requires banks and credit bureaus to report only accurate information, and nearly 100% of all credit reports are inaccurate. If you're sick and tired of being broke and tired of being robbed by the banks, you owe it to yourself and to your family to call Rondi. Rondi is a FICO-certified credit professional and has helped thousands of people just like you get out of debt and establish great credit. Rondi's number is 855-608-1990. Again, that's 855-608-1990. Or visit creditsanitizer.com. Again, that website is creditsanitizer.com.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you a veteran, police officer, firefighter, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, you qualify as one of Ron Siegel's VIP heroes, and we have rewards up to $5,000 or $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with one of the Ron Siegel radio partners. As one of the heroes, real estate agents will rebate part of their commission. Lending partners will give a credit at closing. The title company has special published rates, and many other service providers have incentives too. All you need to do is call Ron Siegel Radio at 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. Just think about what you will do with all the rebates and incentives from the partners of Ron Siegel Radio. Just call us at 800-306-1990 so we can show you our appreciation for your service.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Gold Star Mortgage. When you're ready for that next mortgage, Gold Star has the programs, the products for you. Just give us a call at 800-306-1990. We'll put you in touch. They're the only ones with a fast pass loan approval, allowing you to buy a home same as cash. Your real estate professional can. Check box J4. No loan contingencies when you have that fast pass loan approval. So what's happening in the markets? Yes, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, as we spoke, up 267, NASDAQ up 77, S&P 500 up 22 right now as we speak. U.S. 10-year Treasury at 2.848, up up slightly. The Fannie Mae 30-year bond down 8 basis points, just a little bit, pressing on that overhead resistance. We've talked about that before. At 101.99 is the resistance level. We're at 101.91. If we can break through that, we've tried a few times. If we can break through that 101.99, we might see some real good numbers. We might see interest rates taking a big, big drop because of that. And why would that be? That's what we always have to look at. Well, I told you a little bit about the technical part of it, right? So we're just about to get to that line right there. The news on Mexico and the U.S. having concluded their NAFTA talks on trade and deal announcement coming. Mortgage bonds slightly lower. I told you about that one. Quiet economic news day, but a busy news week highlighted by housing data, GDP, and the Fed's favored measure of inflation, personal consumption expenditures. Market is expecting PCE to rise from 2.2 to 2.3 and core PCE to increase from 1.9 to 2.0. The rest of the week looks Tuesday, we've got the Case-Shiller Home Price Index. Wednesday, mortgage applications, GDP, pending home sales. We've got jobless claims and PCE on Thursday. And we're going to be watching those real carefully. Like I said, right now we're sitting there watching. We are carefully floating on the markets just so that we can kind of get an idea where the market's heading, what can we expect, why not be ready if we're not looking at a whole lot of downside risk. The idea then comes up and says, okay, if we don't have a lot of downside risk, doesn't it make sense if we sit there and try to capture the upside of the bond, which means interest rates drop? Wouldn't that be the ideal thing for anybody who's looking or wanting to buy, sell, refinance, any of the above? Well, that's the reason that we look at it in that manner, is you have to be watching. That's the difference between somebody that's just looking at the market and saying, you know something, I think we'll just lock you in right now and guess. Well, no, that's not the idea. We don't want to do that. That's the Mortgage Minute, again, brought to you by our friends over at Gold Star Mortgage. You ever had this happen? I know a lot of folks see this on a regular basis. I've had this happen many, many times. What do you do when your phone runs out of storage space? And most people use your smartphone for about everything in your life. Photos, managing your finances. You're probably familiar with that frustrating alert warning you there's not enough storage to download or do anything else until you free up some space. I've had that where you go to take pictures, right? I mean, when we were younger, we used to really watch the pictures we took because we had to go develop them, and then you'd have to wait and see if what you wanted came out. Now you just hold your finger down on the shutter button, and you take 50 pictures, find the ones you like, and if you're lazy like me, you don't end up erasing all of the extras. Right? So I don't know, have you ever had that happen to you? What do you do? Then all of a sudden you go to take a picture, a video, and it says not enough space. And you wonder, okay, what am I going to do?
What's the big idea?
Yeah. So the good news is, few easy tips and tricks to prevent that stressful alert from constantly ruining your day. First, check your storage and figure out what's taking up so much space. On the iPhone, you go to Settings, and then you go to General. Just giving you the idea here on how to do it. Real simple, just because, we like to help out when we can. So we're going to Settings, then we're going to go to General, and they actually tell you what's going on with your phone. So I'm looking at it right now so I can actually talk to you through it. And then you go to Storage and iCloud. Again, we're talking about on the iPhone. So I'm looking at, just says iPhone storage on my device. It says I'm using 23.6 gigabytes. And then it gives you an option for review large attachments. So I can actually see what's using up all that storage. See what I'm saying right there? It's not that difficult. But what are some of the items that are probably going to be using up a lot of your storage? Well, one of the big ones is the Messages app. Do you do a lot of text messaging? I know there's people that live by text message. If I want to talk to my sons, doesn't do me any good to call them. right? They may answer, they may not answer. They might even not answer the phone and then send me a text message back. Am I the only one that has that happen? Well, if that's the issue, then the Messages app is using a lot of space on your phone. I'm just looking down on mine. 716.9 megabytes. All those photos, GIFs, videos that you send there, they don't ever go away. So that's one of the areas that you can free up more space. You want to clear out some of this clutter? It's pretty easy to just delete file attachments from Messages. Just click on a message conversation, tap the information icon on the top right of the screen. Then you'll see two tabs at the bottom. One for images, another for attachments. To delete files, hold down on one of the images or attachments, click more, and that will allow you to select everything you want to get rid of and mass delete it all at once. You can also change your settings so that messages are not saved forever, which will prevent the app from taking up so much space. Go to settings, messages, message history, keep messages, and then choose how long you want your phone to store texts and messages. Podcasts, that's another biggie. Now especially, some of the podcasts are video podcasts. Any of them other than Ron Siegel Radio, here's what you need to do, or you can do, is you can get rid of them. Again, it can't be the one, this does not work when you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio. You can't use this same process. It takes a lot more work to get rid of a Ron Siegel Radio. Just kidding. Podcast app comes installed with default settings that automatically download all new episodes to your device. Totally unnecessary. You don't need all these files saved on your phone all the time. If you know you want to listen to a particular episode when you won't have Wi-Fi and don't want to use up your data to stream it, that's when you should download the file to your phone. Otherwise, simply go to the My Podcast feed in the app to listen to any podcasts or episode at any time. As long as you're connected to Wi-Fi, you're all set. How to free up space. Updating your preferences for the app will prevent it from taking up so much space in the future. Go to Settings Podcast, and from there, you can update each default setting. So here's another one. I have like 30,000 photos and videos stored on my phone. What a waste of space. Do you think anybody's going to go through that many of them? Anything you don't need on your phone can easily be backed up elsewhere and for free. Backup photos, videos, and other files on your computer. Use a free storage service like Google Photos. The free app automatically backs up your files, stores them on Google's servers, then allows you to delete them from your device, which will free up a lot of space. And back up important files in two separate places. If you could use a cloud service, make sure to also back up your files you don't want to lose as hard copies somewhere else. Again, more storage services: Amazon Prime, iCloud Photo, Microsoft Office, iTunes. If you're desperate for storage space and can't find anything to delete, there's a secret trick that can free up space for you. Go to your iTunes app and attempt to rent a movie, but make sure the movie file exceeds the amount of storage on your space you have left. When you rent it, it'll prompt an alert notifying you that you don't have enough storage space. The alert will give you two choices: OK and Settings. Tap Settings, then go to General, Storage, and iCloud Usage, and you should already notice that your phone has more available space than it did a few seconds ago. That's because Apple automatically kickstarts the process for you, removing old data, cookies, and other app history so that you no longer need. They want to be able to continue to sell you those items. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, rent or buy, either way you're paying a mortgage, we're going to talk about it. The number way to protect yourself from skimmers if you pay debit at a gas station. We'll talk about that one as well. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Connect with us, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1, Ron Siegel the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
In the middle of a street,
Lending Team offers you buying power. Let's say you can afford a monthly mortgage payment, including principal and interest, of around $1,900. With today's rate on a 30-year fixed mortgage of 3.75%, APR 3.85%, that payment could support a $416,000 mortgage. But if you wait and rates tick up to around 6.5%, which is roughly the average home mortgage rate over the past 30 years, that same $1,900 mortgage payment, including principal and interest, may only be able to support a $314,000 mortgage. That's over $100,000 worth of home you're missing out on by waiting. That's buying power. All you need to do to get started is reach out to the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Payment example excludes taxes and insurance. Call us for full details, 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 or SiegelLendingTeam.com. Equal housing lender, licensed under NMLS number 217037.
Are you purchasing or own a luxury home? If you're like so many others, your home is your largest asset and the mortgage is your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team has some amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates below 4%, 15-year rates near 3.5%, and if you can believe it, 7-year interest-only hybrids in low 3s. The Siegel Lending Team has all the options for your jumbo or second home loan requirements. Take advantage of them while you can. To learn more about all the other financing products available from the Siegel Lending Team, call 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Again, call 1-800-306-1990. Rates subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender.
Homeowners that are 62 and older are about to find out a great way to live a better retirement. It's called a reverse mortgage, and SLT can help you learn more. Call the Siegel Lending Team at 800-306-1990 right now to receive your free booklet with no obligation. It answers questions like how a reverse mortgage works, how much you qualify for, the ways to receive your money, and more. When you call the experts at Siegel Lending Team today, you'll learn the benefits of a government-insured reverse mortgage, how it will eliminate your monthly mortgage payments, and give you tax-free cash from the equity in your home. Here's the best part. You still own your home. Now is the best time to take control of your retirement. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990 to get your free brochure. Call today or visit our website at SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or simply call 800-306-1990.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now,
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. Nest, N-E-S-T, 79. It's the quickest app I've seen. There are a lot of different drip services that lots of people use to try and send you information about new listings. I'm going to share with you the absolute best that I have seen. I've not seen, and I've looked at a lot of them. Nest gives you the best information. They send you a text message as soon as the properties are ready for you. As soon as a new property comes online that meets your guidelines or your specifications. No advertising. And they keep you up to date. Now, if you've just bought a house recently, they'll send you information as to what the recent sales are in the neighborhood. So the story this morning, rent or buy, you are paying a mortgage either way. There are some people who have not purchased homes because they are not comfortable or they're uncomfortable taking on the obligation of a mortgage. Everyone should realize, however, that unless you're living with your parents rent-free, you are paying a mortgage, either yours or your landlord's. Entrepreneur Magazine, a premier source for small business, explained in their article, 12 Practical Steps to Getting Rich, quote, While renting on a temporary basis isn't terrible, you should most certainly own the roof over your head if you're serious about your finances. It won't make you rich overnight, but by renting, you're paying someone else's mortgage. In effect, you're making someone else rich, unquote. With home prices rising, many renters are concerned about their house buying power. Mark Fleming, chief economist at First American, explained, and I quote, over the last 3 years, renter house buying power has increased fast enough to keep pace with house price appreciation, so the share of homes that a renter can afford to buy has remained the same since 2015. Although mortgage rates are expected to rise, they are still low by historic standards, and real household incomes are the highest they have ever been. Assuming this trend continues, our measure of affordability, which takes into account interest rates and house prices, indicates home ownership is still within reach for renters, unquote. As an owner, your mortgage payment is a form of forced savings, which allows you to build equity in your home that you can tap into later in life. As a renter, you guarantee the landlord is the person building that equity. Interest rates. They're still at historic lows, making it one of the best times to secure a mortgage and make a move into your dream home. Freddie Mac's latest report shows that rates across the country were at 4.51% last week. The bottom line, whether you're looking for a primary residence for the first time or considering a vacation home, desert, or the sea, now may be the time for you to buy that new home. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment. Again, brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text NEST, N-E-S-T, to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. They're out there. The only real question becomes, are you going to have it? Someone else going to have it? Who's going to get your dream home? We're not quite right now. There's a lot of people saying that it's taking longer to sell properties, and I've heard that in a lot of areas. Why would that be? Well, the Home Affordability Index is not telling us that that's the reason. We're looking. I'll be posting a chart later today. Other than during the distressed property era, that would be 2008 to 2011 or 12. Properties still, the home affordability is still in very, very strong shape. So let's think about that part of it. We've still got a lot of properties out there. People can afford the properties. Now, the properties need to be priced properly. You can't think that you're going to get an extra 5% appreciation every month on properties and get multiple offers when you price your properties incorrectly. It's not going to work that way. But just a thought for you, be real careful of that. That's the issue right there. So just watch the market. So what to do? T-Mobile, they were hacked. I don't know if I shared this with you, but yeah, we got a hack from T-Mobile. You may have been affected by a data breach that the wireless carrier announced, and that was just an announcement last week. T-Mobile says that hackers' unauthorized capture of data included personal information, including email addresses, phone numbers, billing zip codes, phone numbers, and account numbers. The company says no financial information was ever at risk. Still, more than 2 million accounts were reportedly involved. The company says that its IT team discovered the hack on August 20th and immediately took measures to shut it down. If you're a customer who has questions, you're being encouraged to contact customer care by dialing 611. You can also use two-way messaging on the mytmobile.com, the T-Mobile app, or iMessage through Apple Business Chat. Just a thought there for you. You might want to look at Credit Karma, Credit Sesame. Make sure you are registered there so you can monitor your credit reports just to be sure. If you feel like there's an issue, always better to be safe than to be sorry down the road on one of these items. Just a thought for you. You are listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, we are going to talk about the only reasons to collect Social Security at age 62. You can reach me anytime, off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Connect with us, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, on Twitter @Ron Siegel. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Most businesses struggle to get the online reviews they need to get a competitive edge over their competition. Rex is a brand new technology that uses text messages to direct happy clients to your online review sites, Zillow, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, and unhappy clients to a private survey, so businesses can win more customers. Try Rex today by going to www.meetrex.com.
Are you currently renting a home? Do you like paying someone else's mortgage payment? Why not explore the options to purchase your own home? Can you imagine a 30-year fixed-rate loan below 4.25% APR? This means with $10,500, you can purchase a $295,000 home and have a principal and interest payment of about $1,400 per month. What are you paying in rent? Does your family deserve the opportunity to take advantage of the current market? To learn more about these exciting opportunities, the Siegel Lending Team is standing by to speak with you. Call now, 1-800-306-1990. That's 1-800-306-1990. Or visit SiegelLendingTeam.com. That's SIEGEL LendingTeam.com. Or 1-800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by NMLS ID 217037 and 145502. Equal housing lender. Not endorsed or sponsored by any government agency.
Do you have a goal of mortgage-free home ownership? What if your home was valued at $500,000? Are you aware that a free and clear home could be costing you $2,500 every month, $30,000 per year? The mortgage planners at the Siegel Lending Team would like to show you how you can own your home, generate tax-free income, and accumulate family wealth. You simply need to call the Ron Siegel Team at 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990. By sending the team a copy of your most recent mortgage statement, the team will send you a no-obligation real estate plan. You be the judge if this is right for your family. Again, all you have to do is send the team a copy of your mortgage statement by email to reap@ronsiegelradio.com or call today. Ron Siegel, 1-800-306-1990. That is 1-800-306-1990.
Rate subject to change and without notice. Licensed by the California DOC and BRENMLS 217037 and 145502 and Cal BRE 01869452 and 1866775.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and as your consumer advocate, I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Word on Wealth segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has the solutions for you. The only reasons to collect Social Security at age 62. That is the subject of today's Word on Wealth segment. Decision about when to claim Social Security is one of the most important financial choices you'll ever make. It's about a $500,000 decision. $500,000 decision. Yet, where do we go to get our guidance on that? We tend to go and talk to our neighbors who probably have just as little knowledge about it as we do. Many people claim Social Security as early as they can, but depending on your situation, that may or may not be the right move for you. About 4 in 10 Americans take Social Security at age 62, which is the earliest you can claim your benefit. But for every year you hold off, your benefit climbs by roughly 8% a year. That's why I've long recommended that you wait until age 70 to collect your Social Security. Benefits no longer grow after age 70, yet only 3 out of every 100 people are willing or able to wait until 70 to file for benefits. I've stated very strong opinions about when you should collect Social Security, and people are fired up and angry with me about when I've said you should take it. Given these beliefs, if you're able to, let's pose the opposite question. Who should claim the benefits at 62? Those who are physically unable to work, even if you're in the minority that wants to work until age 70, life can get in the way of your plans. You may find yourself physically unable to do your job once you get into your 60s. If that's the case and you have no other savings to support yourself, you'd likely be a good candidate for taking Social Security as soon as you can at age 62. Meanwhile, if you're disabled, hopefully you have a private disability insurance policy that can help you out too. In one respect, disability insurance is more important than life insurance because your odds of being disabled are far greater than your odds of dying during your working years. You can visit whatsmypdq.org to assess your personal disability quotient. Free service of the Council of Disability Insurance. Your PDQ will predict the likelihood of you needing to use disability insurance during your working lifetime. It's best to get a disability policy that begins making payments 3 or 6 months after you are disabled and continues until age 65. If you're laid off and your future job prospects do not look promising. Age discrimination in the workplace is illegal, but that doesn't prevent it from happening to those who are generally 50 or older. Yet we may be undergoing a big shift on the job front with more and more employers rediscovering the benefits of mid-career professionals. Case in point, there's a new breed of paid internship called returnship, geared toward returning professionals who have been out of the workforce for some years. Some 160 companies have returnship programs to cater to older workers who want to get back on the job. These paid programs typically run between 3 and 4 months and consist of some technical training, soft skills training, and one-on-one interaction with a mentor. After that, you get a full-time job and re-enter the workforce with the company who sponsored the returnship. That's a best-case scenario situation. However, if there are absolutely no prospects for you after a layoff and you have no savings, you may be a good candidate for taking Social Security as soon as you can at age 62. Addressing the big fear, Social Security won't be there for me. It is a common misconception that Social Security will be going away completely, particularly if you're younger. Quote, there is a minor train wreck underway with Social Security. We're not being taxed sufficiently to ensure the benefits that people expect with respect to security, and we're being way undertaxed when it comes to Medicare, unquote. So does that automatically mean Social Security is going away? No. But it does mean you have to adjust your retirement savings strategy, particularly if you are under 50. If nothing changes, and that's a big if, because there could be changes down the road, Social Security will not run out of money. But if you're much younger, it does mean your check will be less generous. So if you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, you've got to rely on me, myself, and I. That means increasing the amount of money you save for the future so you're not relying on some government program. What if you've already taken Social Security at 62? Don't do the guilt trip on yourself if that's the case. What's done is done, and the situation is what it is. If you've claimed your benefit at age 62, the money experts suggest that you work part-time up to the amount you're allowed to earn each year. For 2018, you can earn up to $17,000 without it impacting your Social Security check adversely. Conclusion, the final arbiter on the tough decision of whether or not you should take Social Security at age 62 should be the numbers. There are a variety of online tools, both free and paid, where you can run the numbers yourself. I'm going to suggest Joe Palacio. He's been on the broadcast with us many times. He has some great information on this for you. Doesn't cost you anything to get some great advice from somebody who's doing it on a regular basis. That's the Word on Wealth segment brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. So here's another issue that we are hearing about a lot nowadays, the way to protect yourself. We hear about skimmers at the gas station. Number one way to protect yourself from skimmers, if you pay with a debit card at the gas station, and that's an inherently dangerous act because of skimmers that can capture the info on your card's magnetic stripe without your knowledge. Once the criminals have that information, they can have a field day making fraudulent purchases from your account and trying to stick you with the bill. But there is one way to protect yourself if you insist on paying debit for gas. Well, here it is. Go inside. Pay inside the gas station if you're going to use a debit card to fill up. Looks like Americans are starting to pay attention. According to a new Compare Card study, 43% of Americans say they are changing the way they pay for gas because they don't want to fall victim to a skimmer scam. A full 20% of those who have made a change in how they pay are now going inside the gas station to avoid the risk of skimming. The risk posed by skimmers on gas pumps is acute for debit card users. By federal law, debit cards are only required to give you 2 days to report money that's missing from your account. Some banks may voluntarily choose to give you longer to report any financial funny business, but only a 2-day window is required. With a debit card, money leaves your checking account and it's gone immediately, unlike a credit card where your charges are paid by a lender up front and then you have to settle up with them at the end of the month or pay interest charges if you can't. So if you use your debit card at the pump and fall victim to a skimmer, you only have 48 hours after noticing a fraudulent charge to alert your bank. Otherwise, you could be on the hook for up to $500 worth of charges. $500. Ow! Under some circumstances, your liability with a debit card can be unlimited.
I got a bad feeling about this.
I also believe that if you want to continue using your debit in your life, you should have it draw from a separate account set up and fund with money exclusive. I've told you about that before. The Square app card is the one that I prefer. It's just pretty simple. You put the money over there and keep a very minimal amount on it. That way you don't have to worry. And you'll have less to worry about if you set that first radio preset button to come back here every day to join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to John, who's engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
Can't be saved, times that I tried